rolling right along. We are now joined by Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. If you have a question for Kyle, please raise your hand. We will get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start off with Greg Engel.
All right, hold on. First, I've got an announcement to make. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
There is no announcement. Good? We all good? We clear? Moving on.
The bar was raised yesterday with all the Eric Almirola and all the other stuff, so we wouldn't have been surprised. No, I'm not going to ask about your contract. The show that's coming out on USA Network, you were part of that, and obviously NASCAR hopes that it gets the kind of buzz and everything around the sport that Drive to Survive did. Talk about what your how was the experience, and what are your expectations for people to see it and create help create a buzz in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like it's just another level of humanizing us, athletes, drivers, families, things like that, of what we do outside the sport. Obviously, there's a lot to be filmed and a lot of things that go on behind the scenes and the things that aren't on broadcast television each and every week. And so to kind of showcase a little bit of that, obviously, there's a storyline, a huge development of lives and situations that are outside of just the broadcast. And so I feel like they're trying to do the best they can and showcase some of that and get some of those storylines out there. One with us is just our family life and racing and Brexton racing and that sort of stuff, where how hectic it kind of is and what we do outside of just being here every Saturday, Sunday.
We'll take our next question from Jordan Bianchi.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. At any point during the contract negotiations with Joe Gibbs Racing, have they offered you a contract that you turned down?
What did I just say?
You said there was no update. But
yeah, there's no updates.
But at any point during the negotiations that go back,
This is not the place to start airing any dirty laundry.
Wasn't trying to start.
No. Just trust me. In time, things will work out, and what happens happens. Again, answering that question could either be positive for me or detrimental for me. So it's fair to say I cannot answer those sorts of questions in here. I apologize. Or I don't. Not sure which.
All right, let's go to Daniel and then to Holly.
Daniel McFadden, Frontstretch.com. Kyle, with your involvement in the USA series and also the documentary movie that came out earlier this year, is there any one thing that you hope people take away about Kyle Busch at this point in your life, this point in your career, that they might not have understood before all that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I guess the humanizing the villain, let's say, okay? So I'd like to be known by a heck of a lot more than just what is on broadcast television each weekend, or not on broadcast television. But to me, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a racer, and that's all I've really known. I've grown up doing that. I've come from a blue-collar family from Las Vegas, where my dad was a Mack tool man, and didn't come up from a lot, but obviously trying to instill those same traits into my kids and how we go about what we do each and every week to go to the racetrack. So for me, I would like to think that again, showing the human side, humanizing myself and what is important to me, not just at the racetrack, but away from the racetrack.
Holly. Hey, Kyle. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. With all the different storylines that could happen tonight and so much on the line, I'm just curious if you expect the race tonight to be tamer because so many people are either trying to get that win or, move in the playoffs some other way, or, just kind of what your expectations are.
Yeah. I guess there's how many? Trying to do the math. I think is there 9 guys that have a chance, right? 13. Okay. Right. 13, yeah. How many is it? I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. You get
15 for 2, but you got to assume Blaney or Truex are going to get one.
If somebody wins, to knock themselves in, right? So that to me is where the storyline is. So you're going to have legit, the rest of the guys that want to go race for a win as well too. All of us, we want to go race for a win, and with the unknown predictability of Daytona and what all of that is here, just lends itself into the perfect storm of opportunity of guys to win and knock themselves in. So, I think there's going to be a big race up front, and I'd love to be in that. I need bonus points just as the other guys do. I need regular points. We've fallen far enough. It'd be nice to. I think we have a legit shot for getting 1 or 2 spots back where we're at right now. So that's 2 more playoff points that we have a shot for. So it'd be nice to not lose those. But I do know at the end of the day, you got to be in it to win it. And so if you're not there at the end of this race, then you don't have a shot to win. So, that obviously plays a role as well.
That was kind of my follow-up, is how you approach it for yourself necessarily. Are you a little more cautious than you would normally be, or like you said, because you have some things you're still going for?
Yeah. So question is, for those of you that didn't hear, is how do I play it? Knowing all of that, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I want to go out there and race because, when you go out there and race, you're around the people at the front of the pack for much of the day, and they get a chance to be around you, see how you run, see how fast your car is, if they can work well with you. But on the flip side of that is if you're around them and then you're wiped out, or they're wiped out and you weren't there in the beginning of the race, there's new contenders at the end of the race. So, I don't know. If I could guarantee myself a lead lap spot, stay on the lead lap by being a half a lap down the whole race, I'd probably take that. And then what restart do you go on? Do you go on the restart 10 to go? Do you go on the third overtime restart? Which one do you go on? I don't know. And the other thing too is, like, once you get too wide, it's going to be hard to make moves and go up the middle and get up towards the front. So you kind of need to put yourself in a spot or get yourself worked into a good spot before that final pit stop. So if that answered any questions, I have no idea. Good luck. That's how I feel like people are telling me tonight. I don't know. Good luck.
Let's go up to the press box for a minute for a question. Go ahead.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net. Kyle, as everybody was coming into town this week, news of your brother relinquishing his playoff spot broke. Have you talked to Kurt, and what's his spirits, and how's he doing overall? Because you're probably the best one to ask without talking to him.
I am not speaking for Kurt Busch. Same as though I'm not speaking for Kyle Busch either. So a few of you got that. Good work. All right. So, he's down, right? Like he wants to be here. He wants to go out there. He wants to race. He wants to put a helmet on again, and he wants to get back in that race car, as I would expect. I've been around him for, how old am I? 37 years. And so, he's a talented and driven individual who wants to go out there and do what he loves to do. So I respect his decision and his news that he gave earlier this week for relinquishing a playoff spot. I think that's mighty strong of him to do. And obviously, I feel like it's also the what's the word? He's not sacrificing himself for a spot or taking a spot from the rest of the field, right? Like, he's relinquishing that spot for others to be able to go out there and race with his unknown status at this time. So I think that was very strong of him, and I think that's going to bode well.
From the family side of it, are you worried about him? You worried about how this is playing out? The human side.
I'm not sure how to take that. You're always worried about your family, right? Certainly want the best for him and whatever that is. But obviously his health needs to be first. And he's going through the exercises and the things that he's told to do in order to make sure that he can please the doctors to get back in that race car. So, this Kurt Busch not being in the race car is not Kurt Busch's decision. It's someone else's. So, that's what stinks too, but also that's what keeps us from ourselves and going out there and racing hurt is those around the sport and the doctors in which he has to deal with. So, it's tough for sure. It's not easy, but he's fine. I don't know how to say this politely, but he's not knocked himself stupid. So he's very well aware of the decisions and the repercussions of those that he's making. So I give him full credit for making those.
All right, we'll take our next question from Kelly Crandall.
Kelly Crandall, racer.com. I don't know how to follow that. Tonight, going back to what Holly was asking about the racing, obviously in the Toyota camp, Martin is holding a spot. Bubba wants a spot. Obviously, Toyota teammates are going to try to help each other, but at this point, is it kind of like, I'll try to help, but like, who do you help? I just worry about yourself and just make sure you don't mess them. How do you approach that?
If I'm coming off of turn 4 and the 23 and the 19 are side by side in front of me and I'm the next one, I'm lifting. I want nothing to do with it. I am lifting. So if I know I can't win, I am out. Just give me the points. So that's kind of how I look at it. Obviously, you don't necessarily. Again, the 13 other car numbers you got to figure out into the picture that you don't want to push to a win. If Martin's the last one in on points, same thing. Like you obviously, if the 9 cars on the bottom and there's name one, a 43 on the outside, and I'm following the 43, like the 100% rule comes into effect, right? What do? You obviously don't want to knock a teammate out.
All right, let's go to Bob and then to Lee.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. You quipped the other week that you got Chastained, and I'm curious how...
Who did last week?
Yeah.
Huh?
There are a few.
Kimi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've won a couple of championships. You know what it takes when it comes to give and take and being able to navigate that. Can Can Ross win the championship this year, or has he created too many enemies? And will there just not be enough people willing to give him when he needs it?
Yes. So, what was the question? Can he win a championship? Let's go one question at a time.
Do you need give and take to win a championship?
Absolutely. Yes, you do. You need give and take to win a championship. Yes.
So will Ross
Will he get benefit of the doubt in situations when it comes to time on the line, coming to the end of the playoffs and going to Phoenix? Absolutely not. No way. No chance. No. I don't think people are paying him back yet just because they're waiting for the right time. Denny got really tight off of turn 1 at Pocono.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I know how tight these cars can get. They get tight.
I just don't want you to be in the middle of that.
I almost was.
I know.
And then a piece of tape killed me.
To follow up on Holly and Kelly.
Is this entertaining? I'm glad. Can I have another one in another hour? Give me another hour. I can come back.
Appearing lately. No.
Yeah.
Or nightly. Have you had your Toyota meeting yet? Have you guys talked about different scenarios, or most of the manufacturers get together and kind of strategize? Have you done that already today?
Yes.
So, I mean, is there plan A, plan B, plan C, or, how do you approach that?
Just what I said before. Like I even said it. I was like, if the 19 and the 23 are side by side,
So
I'm out.
That's
like that,
coming from.
That's what I said.
But is that coming from higher up?
Like I said, obviously it's the 13 other car numbers that you don't need to be behind pushing to the checker flag to score a win. If you know the 19 is on the fence or on the edge. So yeah, I mean all that's been laid out.
And with this new car, and we've seen a different level of aggression with this car, and I don't know what the reason is. Maybe it's because it's more sturdy, maybe because there's parity. We've heard all different kinds of scenarios. How will all those aspects play in once you get to a place like Darlington that's really narrow and, more of a short track than a speedway?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with this car is people are seeing it take little hits, a bit more racing hits, knocking each other out of the way, pushing on each other a little bit, leaning on the bodies. The bodies are way for sure more durable in that aspect, but the chassis components still have a tick of weakness to them. You can bump the fence or somebody else and bend a front or a rear tow rod. And so those are the things that you're cautious of, or more cautious of, is those wheel hits. But the body stuff, yeah, everybody's taking full advantage of that and leaning on everybody a little bit more, which I think we all kind of saw was going to be an opportunity with this car, with the composite body. We see it in Xfinity a little bit. And, as you said, the parity plays a piece in that too, because these cars are more similar to the same speed. I mean, you look at a Martinsville test; they ran 300 and something laps, and the whole field was within 3/10. You know, so yeah, like passing at a road course, you know, you have to bomb it off in there, and you know you're not going to make the corner. You know you're going to lean on the guy and push him out of the groove in order to make a pass. Like, that's how it's done now. Just because I don't have any better brakes than the next guy because they're all bought from the same place.
All right, we're coming up against the clock here for Kyle, so we're going to take one more question from Jeff Gluck.
Lucky.
So let's say Martin makes the playoffs, but his car doesn't. What's that going to do, you know, organization-wise? Is that going to – because, I mean, it doesn't really help Joe very much to not have his car in, but Martin's in.
It helps Martin.
Helps Martin, but not the team. So, like, does that change anything as far as, like, the resources that you guys might get or the emphasis you guys might get if that car's not in?
No, I don't think it changes anything. I think Joe looks at it as if it's in. I don't think there's any difference, any separation in that. He's not going to get I don't even know what – we don't talk about contracts. Let's talk about contracts. I don't know what's in his contract with Toyota TRD or his sponsors if the car isn't, but the driver is, or if it's even in there and spelled out. I don't know. Mine would say that if I'm in, I get what I'm supposed to get. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that works otherwise, but I probably gave you guys a whole nother topic to go down a freaking rabbit hole on. Sorry, Joe. So anyway, it won't look any different. The 19 car will still be a normal player for us as the playoffs progress.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, thanks for spending some time with us, and good luck
My
later
pleasure.
tonight.